Actually, I was talking for 15 minutes already, and then finally I was written that there is no possibility of the live stream. And now I am trying the second time. Let me know if you are with me, if you are watching me. I need to understand it to make the second attempt to talk about this topic. Okay, I will try to talk the second time about the reasons of for men not getting married. Before this live stream, I was preparing, and I found an interesting specific thing. When I put in Russian language why men can't get married, mostly I got the sites with the articles about why men doesn't want to get married. At the same time, when I put why women can't get married, there were too many articles and some trainings and so on for women, and they were all telling what problems woman has, that she can't get married or no one wants to get married here. So when I did the same and I put the phrase in English, why men can't get married and why women can't get married, I got almost the same result, just about the trend in the world that less and less people are getting married nowadays. So it's interesting because it seems still in our countries, in Russian-speaking countries, women are considered to be married for sure, to be happy, or to be socially accepted. And it doesn't work in Europe and in US and other Western countries. So when we talk today about the reasons why men can't get married, let's keep in mind from the very beginning that we talk about the cases when man wants but can't get married equally. It means he can't build the relationships. Of course, when man decides consciously that at this stage of his life or for his whole life he doesn't want to get married, he doesn't want any long-term relationships, it's his decision and it's not the issue. It's just the wish of the person. It happens sometimes, and every person has this right to live alone, not to have relationships and so on. But in this video we will talk about the reasons when men say that they want relationships, they want family, but for some reason they can't do it. What are the reasons of the first stage, the stage of the search and selection, the right lady for this? What I face in my practice, it's like we discussed it many times in my other videos, it's unrealistic expectations. So when man wants some things, sometimes self-excluding issues, or some he has some criteria for women that are difficult to make it come true, or they are self-excluding in one person, and he searched for a long time such type of woman, and he can't find, but he doesn't make any conclusions, just trying to find this type of woman endlessly. It is the reasons why men can't start the relationships, of course, and he can't get married too. And what else? When man has too many requirements for a woman. I told you about the case when man sent 8 pages of requirements for his future wife, and of course we rejected immediately to this client because it's unrealistic to find such lady, and it's obvious from the very beginning. So if you look for someone for the relationships, for love, for trust, you should be You should have attitude to this, like to choosing a person, not just a car or something like that. When you have the list of requirements, or even at work when we search for a new candidate, we usually have a list of requirements, professional ones and about the person. And we select a person this way. But for relationships, the situation is different. You should have also chemistry, you should have connection, attraction to each other, and don't miss these things, because also there are many cases in life when probably you or your friends met someone who didn't fully were their perfect match as they thought before, but they fall in love and they built a family and everything was perfect. However, the person was not perfect and had some flaws and maybe not looking like his perfect woman, but still people are happy, and it is what's the most important. Also, the wish to predict the future influences a lot. So when man is too cautious and he tries to think about all bad situations that may happen with this woman, between him and her in the future, and he's finding some flaws in her that can lead to this. So again, it's too long story, and we never know what will happen in the future at all. But when you try to predict too much, of course it don't allow you to build relationships or to even to start the relationships with a woman. Why men do it? It's because of the high level of being anxious, and it is a reason to work on yourself, to make some personal improvements. It can be the reason to work with the psychologist too, because it's just personal specificity, and it doesn't really connected. It's not really connected with the person, with the other person. It's more about yourself. What else? Just subjective reasons. It's too little of social life. So sometimes men apply who work a lot, and they only see people at work, and that's all. They go to home, and they rarely meet friends. They don't go out. They don't use dating sites, don't use dating applications at all. Of course, they simply don't have the choice. They don't meet new women, and in this case, they don't have someone to build the relationships with. So if you feel the wish to have the relationships, just make active steps to make it happen. At least make people, give yourself a chance to meet different people, different women, to date different women, to compare, to feel what is better for you, and so on. The process of dating is actually very important too. Our aim is not to meet the right person right away, because without comparison, again, you are not always able to understand who is better for you, who not. So the time of dating is very precious itself, and arrange it for yourself too. So what else? As I told you, it's not using different ways of meeting new people. You should do it for sure. So if you sit at home, you dream about happy family life, but in real life you don't do any actions to make it happen, it will never happen. And we tell this to our women too, when they come to the agency and they give their other profile. We explain that it's not enough to come to the agency, because she needs to talk with men, she needs to go to dates, she needs to understand who is better for her, who is not. So you should be active in this field of life too. The wife can't come just by occasion in your life. Of course, we all watch some romantic films, and there are some romantic stories how suddenly and quickly the man met his love for the whole life and so on. But in reality, you need to be active too, and to make the steps forward to your dream. As I told you again, and mentioned it in the other point. Sometimes there are men who were working a lot for many years before, and now in their 40s, 50s, they're finally ready for building a family, and they come to us to find the right person. So they become financially stable, they become career successful or successful in their business, and only now they are ready for family. So it can be the reason too, when you are in love with your job and you're working a lot, you don't pay attention to the other sides of your life. It can happen that for some reason, for some time, you can't get married. But at the moment when you realize your decision to find someone you wish to find, someone to share your life with, then there is a chance to change things. But again, active actions are necessary. Hi, the first comment. Hello, thank you. We talked about the stage of the search and selection and why on this stage men can't find someone. And now we talk about the stage of dating, why a man can't get married and what obstacles can appear on at the period of time when you are dating someone. So being too passive. Again, sometimes I talk with women and they tell me I'm dating with this man for already several years, but he keeps silence. He doesn't make a proposal to me. So again, I had many cases when women actually was active and they were discussing with their men why they should get married. So in some cases, women are more active in this way. It's good that you like this subject, so if you have questions, just ask me. Also, men sometimes are being too cautious. I discussed it during this on the stage of selection and search, and the same can happen on the stage of dating, when you try to predict many things in the future, and you find the flaws in a woman, and you always find the reasons why you can't get married here, because something will happen, and it can be just fantasies. We all can't predict the future, so there is some rate of unpredictable things in life, and we should just accept it, because if we try to guess much time ahead, our life will turn into constant guessing. But again, it can't be true. Sometimes you can guess one thing, but actually something different happens. Hello. Actually, I'm trying to do this live stream second time. First time I talked a lot, then everything disappeared and I couldn't save my live stream. So now I'm repeating. I'm doing my second attempt, and I'm happy that you came to me to our live stream to talk, because the first live stream was without people at all, so I was wondering if there is something wrong, some technical problems, because it was strange, no one was there except me. So we are continuing talking about why men can't get married. I told you that we discussed the situation when a man wants to get married, wants to have a family, but for some reason he it doesn't happen in his life. And we miss the case when man consciously doesn't want to get married. It happens too. So I read your questions and answer now. Do you think women can be a bit picky? Again, we can't say in general women are different. Some are picky, some are not, some are adequate, some have low self-esteem, some have too high self-esteem. So we are different. Women are different in Ukraine too. So when we talk about the stage of dating, why men can't get married, it's subconscious resistance. For people who are not connected with the psychology, it's not obvious, and it can happen that man is looking for the right woman for many years. He's trying to date someone, but he never can make a choice for some reason. And most probably there are some psychological trauma maybe happened in his life, some internal barriers to make this decision, or even to go into long-lasting, fulfilling relationships. But usually it can be opened only with this professional psychologist or therapist when you discuss with the specialist what your childhood, what happened, and so on. It's very deep type of work. The other reason why men can't get married is also not being able to develop relationships. For example, he met a right woman. He was using actively all the dating sites or matchmakers and so on. But then when he likes her, she likes him, they start to date. On some stage, every time, and usually the patterns they repeat, the relationships stop. And again, it is the reason to research, to investigate what exactly happens each time. So if you see the situation repeating in your life all the time, it is the reason to think about deeper and to try to find out what exactly is happening. Because on the surface we see, we can name it like, I met the wrong woman. But if you met already 10 wrong women, and you was trying to build a relationship with them and no success every time, maybe there is some your internal reasons not to develop these relationships. It's deep work to find it out, and usually people need some assistance in it. So Dyer, you wrote the comment. Let me read. Sometimes I get the notice of the live stream about 3 days in advance. I didn't get any notice last weekend. For today, I got the notice a few minutes ago. I guess there is some strange technical things, because YouTube suddenly wrote me that I can't make live stream today, so it allowed me to start. So I hope this live stream will be saved, but I'm not sure. But at least we can talk with you now. I can read the comments and you can hear me. Yes, that's part of the whole problem, trying to find the right women for me. So tell me please, on which stage you experience the issues, on the stage of search and selection, or on the stage of building relationships? Share your experience, please. Meanwhile, I will read the next question. Yelena, Ukrainian kids are raised in a good way in case her mom marry again. It's manageable to set a new family with her husband. Of course, why not? If there are two people loving each other and they are compatible, they checked it while the stage of dating, and they have the same point of view about bringing up kids. Why not? Sure, it should happen this way actually, because there is no sense to build the family if kids won't be happy with the mom's new choice. In most of the cases, any mother will reject such men and just stay with the children, not to make them suffering. I believe if there is love and understanding, and this man really appreciates woman, he won't allow some bad things towards her children. Before preparing for this live stream, I read some articles that in the world as a whole, less and less people choose to get married officially. Share with me, please, what you think about it. Is it important for you to get married officially, or you are rather thinking about finding fulfilling relationships for yourself? What is more important for you? What is your goal actually? I'm asking you, who is talking to me now in comments. Actually, 3 men. Daya, I'm in the stage of finding someone lasting, mainly because I want to be financially stable before marriage. Yeah, I remember you told you already stable and now ready for the family. So the official marriage is important for you, or it doesn't matter? What is your attitude now to it? So, dears, don't hesitate to share your experience or tell me what your friends think in different countries. Do they really want to get married, or they just prefer living together, or what? Before, of course, the marriage itself, it was having different sense. Now, when both women and men are financially independent, can be financially independent, it becomes not so much important for women to get married officially, and for men, I guess, too. Lena, what you think about the whole divorce thing, the potential consequences of divorce? Lots of scary stories out there. Do you mean divorce between international couple, or just in Ukraine? I agree. For me, it's impossible love half of lady. We love and love the all aspects of her. Agree. Actually, women will have the same attitude to you, because yeah, it's impossible to love the only part of the person. It's not love then, it's something different. So tell me please your attitude to official divorce, and Dio, please make the note. Tell me exactly what you meant in general. What are consequences? I guess in our country, in Ukraine, again, I told you, women are not safe enough after the marriage. So I know that on the West, people have the rights, and they have some exact things that they get after the marriage. Here in Ukraine, situations are very different, and if you didn't have prenuptial agreement, it's called like this, I guess, then the consequences, they are just like what you and the lady will create. Consequences are for children sometimes even good, because if children don't see arguing parents all the time, it's good for their health, it's for their mental health, for their psychological health too. As for consequences about dividing apartments, cars, and so on, it depends on people how they decided between each other. Sometimes there are noble people, and they make it in a good and civilized way. Sometimes there are really scary stories when fathers try to steal children, and they steal children, and mothers can't get them back. Very different stories. After all, 50% of marriages in the US ends in divorce. Women take a lot of men to the dry cleaner in the West. Yeah, I don't know a lot about how it happens in the US, but I heard that you have strict regulations about it, and your fathers, they have to take care of children after a divorce too. Here the situation is different. If you didn't discuss it before the marriage, both men and women can be left without anything after the marriage. Just again, everything depends on the couple. It depends on the level of being noble of these two people who took part in it. So dears, if you have some more questions because you don't answer my question about official marriage, let me know, ask me, and we will finish soon. By the way, about the new live streams, you can read in our Facebook and Instagram accounts. We always make posts about it. I will give you the link now, so that you could subscribe us, like this page on Facebook, and then you will have news. You will see news that soon we will have a live stream. Next Thursday we will meet. Tell me please, what is the better time for you? 8 Ukrainian time, Kiev time, or 9? By the way, what is better? And I'm sending you a link to our Facebook page where you can see all the news about live streams. And also I will give you Instagram account. One more comment. I feel we must to know and be honest with ourselves before to try to find love. Relationships is about to give, not to get. I would say relationships are about the balance between getting and giving. It is two important processes, and they should be there here at the same time. If you only give, finally you will get empty if you don't get anything in relationships. So it is the process of exchange, I would say. The only relationships when you only give is when you are parent. I feel that women need the commitment. That is why they want the ring. Marriage is the official way. A man show a woman that if that is what I need to show my woman commitment, so be it. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it makes sense, and yeah, I fully agree with you. It means this for women too, and especially if couple has children, it becomes more important, because this way it seems a woman can get more guarantees for being cared while they have little children, at least. I see 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. Okay. As I told you, I'm doing this live stream second time tonight because something went wrong with this YouTube. That's why we are here today so late. So dears, let's finish now. I will try to save this live stream, and you can watch it if you want later. And let's meet next week too. Have a nice evening.